Morning, folks. Trying to stay a little bit out of the sun as much as possible so that you can see me and not just a big white glare on the screen. But it's time for our card of the day again. And for our card of the day, we get the Wheel of Fortune, a major arcana card. So we've got this card before in readings, and I've written about it. How, the basically the general theme behind this card is what goes up also comes down. Things are going to change. Everything runs on a cycle. Everything runs on a cycle. Even our bodies, from sleep cycles to hormone cycles. The year runs on, there's seasons, different holidays. Everything in existence runs on a cycle. Some cycles are just so big that we can't see the entire thing. And that's what this card is about. It's about those cycles, and it's about things changing. But it's also about one of the things I think about when I think of this card, I think this card perfectly illustrates the concept of karma. When people think of karma, here in the West, they have a distorted image of what it means. We've grown up a lot of times in the West, even if we didn't grow up in Christian families, we still sort of grew up in a Christian culture. So we had a lot of that sort of stuff drilled in our heads. There's a man up in the clouds waiting to punish you when you do wrong. So when people in the West start to explore alternative spiritual paths, whether it's Buddhism or whether it's magic or whether it's Hinduism, whatever it is, we take a lot of those same concepts and transfer them over into realms where they don't really fit, don't really belong. And that's sort of what people try to do with karma. They try to take this fear of this man in the clouds who is going to punish you if you do wrong and transfer that and say that's the same thing karma is. And it's not at all. Karma is an impersonal force. That's all it is, just like gravity. When you drop something, if you drop something by accident, say you drop a glass by accident and it shatters on the floor, gravity didn't shatter that glass to punish you for breaking the law of gravity. It's just natural cause and effect. And that's the same thing that karma is. There is no good karma and no bad karma. There's only karma. And karma just means sort of repercussions of what we do. One of the things I keep in mind when I look at this card is this psychologist who came up with this concept that she called emotional splash. And she got this concept when she was watching the Olympic swimmer, Michael Phelps, how when he would jump into the pool, there was almost no water splash. It was just this clean dive. And other divers, when they would dive in, water would splash all over the place. And you want to create as little splash as possible because you don't want something to break your momentum when you're swimming. And she said that's a perfect metaphor for what people do emotionally. A lot of times when people don't get their way, when something disappoints them, they sort of take it out on people around them. People who had nothing to do with it. People who can't fix it in any way. And that's emotional splash. Something that you didn't like happening to you causes you to then act out in a way where you spread emotional splash to other people around you, which in turn makes them not want to be around you because they don't want to, have a bucket of misery dashed at them just because you had one. You're splashing them with your negative energy, in other words. Now, when that person decides, I don't want to be around him or her anymore because every time I'm around them, they just radiate, this sort of negative energy that makes me feel bad. So I don't want to be around them anymore. Well, there's karma right there. The person's not being around you necessarily, doesn't want to be around you anymore to punish you in some way. They just have to distance themselves. It's just cause and effect. That's it. We have to look out for our own well-being. So the thing to remember as we go through this day, a one-card reading, look at everything around you. Look at your work. Look at your home. Look at your emotional relationships, your love life. Look at your magic practice, your tarot practice. Look at what you were doing at this time last year. and try to find the cycle that you go through. Number one, try to find the cycle. Decide if you like it. If you like it, keep doing it. If you don't, change it. That's number one. Number two, a good way to avoid karma, creating more karma that you then have to work out, whether good or bad or whatever you want to call it, is to stop creating so much emotional splash. That's it. Okay, I hope this has been useful in some sort of way. And I hope you guys don't mind that these videos are going a little longer. You know, we're going into a little more in depth of what the cards mean versus, you know, what we were doing in the beginning, which is just a flat surface. You know, this card means this card means this. You know, now I'm just sort of letting you know about the associations that I have with the cards, things I've learned over the years. And I hope you don't mind the videos being a little longer because of that. But have a good day, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take it easy. Bye-bye.